We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
What's up, dog? How you doing?
Doing good. It's funny. You had Furones on before me, and I'm texting with him because we have our keeper deadline on Sunday for our fantasy football league, and he's still trying to decide. He's still trying to figure out what running back he's going to keep. So we've been talking about that
decision between what.
Well, he's got to make a trade because we're only allowed to keep, maximum 2 guys per position. A quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers is usually the way it goes. And he doesn't have a running back, so he's trying to have me help him find a running back from somebody else in the league. This is how it is, man. We work together to try to piece it together, brother. But that's the way it is. I've had this fantasy football league going on 25 years now, so it's been a long time.
Things are bad for Furones right now.
Yeah.
Look at this, bro. They sent him to cover the Dolphins, and Detroit is the 6th worst air quality in the world, and Chicago is 13th. I think he has a lawsuit.
He might be able to come back a rich man from Detroit. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm just saying these are not normal conditions. They have sent Furones to cover it. I mean, if the Athletic did that to you, I don't know. You're going to need to call Welt Rheaume there. I mean,
I need to get some help. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw it this morning. I'm like, hell, bro. Like 6 and 13. 2 of our U.S. cities are in the worst air qualities in the world. Like, wow, that is just messed up there.
Scary.
Yeah, and David Furones is right in the fray, which is amazing. Amazing. All right. A lot of buzz, people feeling good about Carson Beck, bro. People talking about it, they got themselves another number 1 pick, first. Well, he was kind of talked about as a first rounder before the injury.
Yeah.
So you tell me what's part of all that buzz that's going on about Carson Beck?
Well, just the fact that I think he's sort of come in here and been a good fit. I think when you look at what the situation he had at Georgia last year, the receivers dropping passes left and right, and he threw 12 interceptions. I don't know that all of them were his fault. A lot of them were probably guys running the wrong routes or tipping passes in the air, etc. The feeling is he could be that guy, right? That everybody was expecting him to be last year, and he's going to have a really good offensive line blocking for him. He's got a good backfield, and if the receivers pan out the way that Shannon Dawson thinks they will, Shannon Dawson seems to think they're really deep at that position. A lot of guys will be rotating in. Then Carson Beck has a chance to put up some good numbers and to help his draft stock. And I think that's the feeling at Miami. There's a lot of confidence in this guy in terms of the job he's done since he arrived. He didn't get to throw in the spring, but he spent every day with a different receiver on the team. And just following them, like literally every snap they took, he was watching every snap they took, watching every route that they ran, picking up on their individual tendencies. And then he would go sit in the film room with them for an hour or 2 afterward. And they would talk about little things that he saw and little things, to sort of ask him, where do you prefer the ball? Where, what can I do to help you type of thing? And I think he's that kind of a guy. And that's why NFL teams probably, if he can prove himself to be as good as he was 2 years ago when he had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, then I think, he could definitely be a first-round pick.
And I don't know if it's maybe because of the exposure he's had at Georgia, obviously, and then NIL and all that with money and business and everything. You get to mature a little faster. Because life is becoming a little bit more real for you as a player. But watching him at the podium and in interviews and all of that, dude, he says all the right things, and it seems like he carries himself like a pro. So you tell me, you've been around the kid. I got to say, at least what I've seen from the outside, I like it. It's professional. He looks like a leader, actually.
Yeah, I think everything he learned at Georgia. I mean, look, how many NFL guys did he play with, right? While he was at Georgia, he knows what it's supposed to look like. So playing the part, in interviews, playing the part in practice, playing the part in games, he's done it. He's done it. He was 24-3 as a starter. This isn't a guy who played one season at Georgia. He played a lot and won some big games, lost some big games, learned some lessons from that stuff. So this is a very polished individual, and I think while he's not going to be Cam Ward, certainly from a cocky and sort of confident perspective, right? Because that's what Cam was. Cam, he oozed that in every snap that he took, and you saw it when he would try to evade pressure and step on the sideline. He just was always cool. I think Carson is the you probably couldn't ask for a second quarterback, a guy to come in and replace Cam Ward. I don't know how many other good options would be out there.
I'm with you there. By the way, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. You can visit our friends at the Big Cheese. The pasta is delivered from Italy, cooked fresh daily. Those rolls are to die for. All right, Manny, who's the breakout player? Who's the guy that you're saying to yourself, this is the guy that I think, who's the kid on offense or on defense that is ready, that Canes fans are going to get excited about right away? Who is it?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. I have a couple guys that I think are certainly candidates to do it. I think Malachi Toney, the true freshman receiver, I think he's going to play a lot in the slot. And if you study Shannon Dawson's offenses the last couple of years, even at Houston, he loves the slot receiver. Xavier Restrepo obviously was huge in that role. We go back to Tank Dell in his days at Houston when he was running Houston's offense with Dana Holgerson. I think this is a guy who just, you look at Tony and he's mature beyond his years. Like, he is not, first of all, he moved up in class, right? He should really still be in high school. He moved up in class to be a part of this one. And I just think, he's a guy that could really surprise. And then you have Elijah Lofton, I think, out of the tight end position. I've talked about him a lot in terms of a guy who, was here last year. You saw flashes of it. I think of the tight end who just got drafted from by the Colts that played at Penn State. I think he's that kind of a player who can line up in the backfield, take handoffs, catch the ball out of the backfield. You put him out on the outside. He can go one-on-one with a cornerback and safety and beat them. He's not a big physical presence like Tyler Warren, but I think he's a guy who can just find a way to get open and make plays. He's done it his entire career. He did it at Bishop Gorman High School, which is always one of the best programs in the country, and played elite competition all year long. So he did it as a true freshman last year. So I think Lofton, Malachi Toney, and then JoJo Trader would be the last one, the receiver. I think all three of those guys have a chance to break out and be special.
All right. So tell me who in the 2026 class in Miami is trying to flip.
Man, there's a lot of them. They didn't do too well in South Florida with the elite guys. And so I feel like every time I come on your show, we end up talking about Derek Cooper, the running back from Chaminade Madonna. He played last night. High school football action started up last night with a bunch of preseason, kickoff games, etc. And Cooper's a guy who committed to Texas last month, 5-star type talent, committed to Texas, and but he's going to end up going to the Miami Notre Dame game for the opener. There's a lot of guys locally who they're still on. Jason Lopez, the wide receiver from Chaminade, who committed to FSU and plays basketball. He does both sports. James Johnson, the defensive lineman from Miami Northwestern, who committed to Texas. Justice Fitzpatrick, Minka's little brother, committed to Georgia in June. Has a great relationship with Mario Cristobal. He's a cornerback, elite guy. Those are the guys that I think in the 2026 class, when you talk about flipping and getting them to stay home. If Miami has a great season, they win the ACC, they make the college football playoff, I think there's a chance that they get a lot of those guys that they were after that they didn't get to flip and want to be a part of this. So they got 22 commitments right now. It's a really, really good class. It's got a national feel to it. But I think if you're looking for a bump, right, where do they get it from? I think it's from the local guys.
All right. Who are the big cheeses they're chasing for 2027?
Yeah, I was telling you this. We were texting a little while ago, but I was trying to tell you that we're kind of in that interesting time where the high school kids are concentrating on football. The 2026 kids are all committed already for the most part, and then the 2027 kids are the ones that are you're actually getting more ink on because they're starting to make real strong relationships with certain schools. And one name that I think everybody needs to know for the 2027 class is Mark Matthews. He's a 5-star offensive tackle at St. Thomas Aquinas. And obviously, Miami has done a great job getting offensive tackles. Mario has landed, obviously, Francis Mauinoa. They got the kid now in the 2026 class from Missouri who's a 5-star that's part of their class. So he obviously wants to keep this going. And Mark Matthews is a guy that I met him at the Under Armour All-American camp up in Bradenton at the end of June. Spoke to him for a long time. He told me Oregon, Florida, Tennessee, Miami, and FSU are the main schools that are after him and the ones he's looking at early. He could potentially commit at some point this fall and sort of like try to get it over with, but he's not sure yet. But that's a guy that, body-wise, size-wise, ability-wise, he has it all. And Mario's had to go to other places to find those guys, right? He had to go get Maui Noah, who's really from, American Samoa Academy. He had to go and get his kid Nick's out of Missouri, who, is far away, right? Matthews is in his backyard this time. So to be able to convince that 27 to commit would be a huge deal, and we'll see how the chase goes over the next 12 months.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Better yet, catch his work there at The Athletic. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. Have a fantastic weekend. We will catch up on Tuesday. Thank you, sir.
All right, brother.
Got it. BigCheeseMiami.com, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, 305-662-6855. Pizza to die for, the baked ziti. I love the baked meat tortellini. Ooh, so delicious. The eggplant parmesan. Oh, yeah, baby. Stuffed shells. I can go on and on and on and on. Go check it out at the Big Cheese. Take your family, take your friends, take your loved one. Get party platters for your customers, for your employees, all kinds of stuff. BigCheeseMiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!